All right. Well, we had an amazing first character, and I know we're gonna have an amazing second one. He feels like he feels like a mean waffle, huh? Oh, Bubonic adds bergamot to your tea. So remember, we're doing some role playing. We're playing as prospective players in a game that our friend or family member has asked us to make a character. And of course, we're like, oh, well, you must have a world all set and ready to go. We've been given permission. To use almost anything. So let's make a character that we want to play and have fun. Now we're going to represent this by the random character creation, and let's find out what our second character has, because our first one, Framelda Hyde, wonderful character. All right. We are going to go to our generator. I have a couple roles that have been asked for. Oh, pardon. Oh, I gotta stop holding in my sneezes. Lightning Dragon, will you please type !roll space 1D100 to let us know if we have a female character, a male character, or if we have a rare multi-class character. Thank you, Exhausted. 55, we have a male character. Now, for the race, this one is going to D Forgotten One. D Forgotten One, will you please roll a 50-sided die in chat? You roll a 7, which is a Centaur. A Centaur from the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. Male Centaur. They are medium-sized creatures. This is going to be a level 4 character, so we're going to fill that in. Now, there's no subclass, so a Centaur will be a Centaur. Boop, doop, doop, doo. See, nothing there. No subraces found. Once more, we'll be open-minded about things. And so for alignment, Hark, will you please roll a D100 for the alignment on the balanced odds? And yes, it is a Fae. It is not a humanoid. You are correct. Which means if you are playing an Oath of the Ancients Paladin, you gotta watch out. Rolling a 43, we have a lawful neutral. We have a lawful neutral male Centaur. Now, from Nicest Pancake, will you give me a D100 roll in chat to let me know if we're going to take a feat or an ability score improvement? Hey, hot dogs! I'll call on you for something, too. Nicest Pancake rolls a 90. Yeah, we're going to take a feat instead of an ASI. All right. Oh, you gotta go? Gotta get some sleep? Gotcha. D Forgotten, thank you for joining us, for participating. Thank you for supporting the channel by picking up some capsules. I appreciate it. And hey, D-Frog, I hope you can get into D&D time tomorrow when the announcements go up. I'll look for you. All right, now it's time for character background. Raz, you were floating this number from the first character. So, Raz, will you please roll a 78-sided die in chat? Oh, gee, Hot Dogs converted from Twitch Prime to a Tier 1. Thank you so much, Hot Dogs. 19. A Courtier. Oh, he is a Courtier out of the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. All right, now, Bubonic One, you wanted to use your points to go for the ideal bond and flaw. So I am going to need a 3d6 roll. And Hot Dogs, can I get a 2d8 roll for the personality traits? One, two, three. Ideal 1, Bond 2, Flaw 3. And Hot Dogs rolled 2 6s. Hot Dogs, go ahead and roll 1d8, and let's avoid a 6. One. There we go. All right. Oh, we are moving along. We're cooking here. All right, now it is time to roll for the class. Hark, you had redeemed points to roll for the class, so go ahead and give me a 13-sided die roll. You roll a 10. We have a rogue. Ooh, a rogue centaur, huh? And in particular, exhausted. Well, I guess we just have like rubber horseshoes. Exhausted dragon. Will you please roll? Let's see. There are 2 redundancies. I need you to roll a d7.
Sound of feasting home.
Philip, thank you very much for the follow. You rolled a 1. An Arcane Trickster. An Arcane Trickster. Now for the rogue, there's no weapon fighting styles. Pickpockets with tail. You know, so well, maybe depending on how we want to narrate this. Now we need to determine the age of our centaur. Yeah, we're having some cool characters, huh? Draconic Gamer, are you still here by chance? Or, let's see, Philip. I appreciate the follow. Philip, are you here? Would you like to help us make this character? After Fav, and you're here listening to the stream? Okay. Oh, not going to roll, though. All right. That's fine. Hey, After Fav, inspiration has struck. Get all of your ideas out right now. Do it now. All right, Lightning Dragon, can you give me a D100 roll, please? A 3. So we go from an ancient turtle to a child prodigy centaur. So he must be like the like the son of a courtier, of like a duke or something, who's sort of been like accepted into the court kind of a thing. But he's finding mischief because he's an arcane trickster. All right. Nicest Pancake, you love him? Well, I'll tell you what, Nicest Pancake, will you please type !roll space 1d6 plus 5. No spaces in that, just 1d6 plus 5. Child prodigy. And this is, he is 9 years old. His father is a court wizard. Oh, possibly. His father's a court wizard. All right, now our base height. Now, well, yeah, this 9-year-old is about to fight some folks. Now, I mean, hey, anime protagonists can go out into the Pokemon world at 10, so I think we're okay. Yep, we go from one end of the age range to the other, and that's what I love about this. And either end is only a 5% chance to roll. Now we have a base height for centaurs as an adult is 6'2" plus 2d12. Hey, 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 hey! You're better than that. Don't be a statistic. My goodness. But how many hands is that? So let's see. I mean, horses are born, you know, bigger anyway. So I guess... Oh, you cat! I love you! And you love me because you are allowed to keep your claws. And there's some people that don't let their cats do that. So I would appreciate some reciprocity. Especially when you have, my goodness, a cat condo with carpet and rope and little dangling mice. All kinds of things to sink your claws into. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Nisa, hi. Nicest pancake loves you. Oh, okay. You're gonna come say hi? All right. Come say hi to Hey, say hi to Nicest pancake. Hey, over here. Look. You need to get. Oh, all right, everyone, bring your cat condos to the stream, and we're gonna have, I guess, like a cat daycare as we have as we go to work here in the workshop. Your Shih Tzu's name was Misa. Oh, so minus. It would still be big. I think. I mean, look, foals are born pretty big. So really, I think we should just do 1d12 and subtract it from the base height. So, Lightning, why don't you roll 1d12 in chat, and we'll subtract that to find out his height. $11. All right. So we are 5'3". We're the same height as our... well, we're almost the same height as our ancient crone, and that's said with due respect for the title of crone. Our ancient crone turtle. We're 5'3". Now, our base weight is 680 pounds, and then there's a weight modifier as well. However, we could probably reduce this, instead of a weight modifier, if we had 6, so we took away 1/6, which is, it's about 20%. So if we take away about 20% of the base weight, that's going to put us around 530 pounds. So he is 5'3", and let's just put him around, let's just put him around 530 pounds. Yeah, declawing is deknuckling. Yeah, I do not I do not support declawing. I understand why people do it. I just wish, I mean, alright, I'm gonna get myself in hot water. I feel the same way about tail bobbing and ear cropping, and even to an extent, like purebreds, because you're continuing a destructive genetic disorder. For many. I'm not... If you have an English bulldog that you love and you take care of, this is not me, or a pug. This is not me shaming you or calling you out. This is a personal preference. and it's you know, I'm glad you're giving that dog or cat a good home. I guess I'm just biased because I adopt from the Humane Society, and I support my local Humane Society. And there's just so many that, you know, have been born into this world that had rough circumstances and mixed backgrounds, and there's no need to cut the tails and ears of your dogs. And yeah, sorry, I'm on a tangent. Anyway, we talk about this. Look, this is D&D. All this stuff comes up. We were just, you know, I was half a click away from trying to find out how much a newborn foal weighs, or I guess in all honesty, if we're treating, you know, if we're treating it, probably be like a, it wouldn't even be like a 2-year-old. 2-year-old horses are like full grown. But yeah, yeah. Oh, your neighbors moved in a band. That that makes me so frustrated. When I read about that in the paper, you know, where there's a house for sale, and I don't know, it's discovered that inside the house is like, you know, 2 dead cats or a malnourished dog covered in its own poop. It's upsetting. She's sleeping with her tail waggling is making me feel a whole lot better right now. I'm not even... as much as I want to pet her, I don't want her to open her eyes and... Yeah. Yep. Well, you know what? I can assure you this one was the runt of her litter, which is why she got adopted. She has an excellent home. And you know what? We're such a wonderful, understanding people. Let's give our child prodigy Centaur a good home too. Oh no, Pancake. So we have our height and our weight. We have a lot of things ready to go here. Now we just need to start exploring what is our background as a courtier. So we don't need Turtle Package, and we're not going to need the Xanathar's Guide, but we are going to have to crack open our books. Here, and we need our Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. And in particular, a Courtier. In your earlier days, so like, I don't know, when you're 8, or this could be earlier days, you were a personage of some significance in a noble court or a bureaucratic organization. Or, again, your dad was totally like the court wizard or something. You might or might not come from an upper-class family. Your talents, rather than the circumstances of your birth, could have secured you this position. So you could be a functionary, an attendant, you could be a wine taster or a goblet bringer, you could be a standard bearer, but you are someone who provides a service to a court of some kind. I mean, you could be a jester even. Yeah, ages and ages ago when they were 5. We are going to get insight and persuasion. Insight and persuasion. We're going to get 2 languages of our choice. And I think Centaurs speak Common, Sylvan? We'll see if I'm correct. And then 2 other languages. And then we're going to get a badge or emblem of our faction. Emblem of faction. A copy of a seminal faction text. Or a code book or of a covert faction. And so this is going to be a faction functionary book. We got a dramatic court with some haunting music. Let's go to a royal court. If we have a courtier, let's get in that sense. Let's go to a royal court with this. A set of common clothes. And a belt pouch containing 15 gapuz. Now, there are different Sword Coast style factions. We're not going to worry about that in particular, but as a DM, you can always take inspiration if you don't want to run in the Forgotten Realms. Our background feature is Safe Haven. As a faction agent, you have access to a secret network of supporters and operatives who can provide assistance to your adventures. You know a set of secret signs and passwords you can use to identify such operatives. Oh wait, I'm sorry, that's faction agent I was reading. Hold on. I apparently can neither read nor write. Not Safe Haven. Well, I'm like, boy, did we get kicked out of court? What's going on? I swear, Anyway. Court functionary is what I totally meant this entire time. Your knowledge of how bureaucracies function lets you gain access to the records and inner workings of any noble court or government you encounter. You know who the movers and shakers are, whom to go to for the favors you seek, and what the current intrigues of interest in the group are. So we have a 9-year-old little centaur, lawful neutral. So, you know, he's using big words. He's like, oh, my father taught me that, you know, so-and-so is the proper functionary to dispense the, you know, and so he's using these big words. He tries to carry himself as an adult, I'm presuming. We'll see his personality soon. So who to go to for favors and what the current intrigues and the interest in the group are. And of course, as a kid, he can just hang around and people might just gossip because, oh, well, whatever, that's a kid passing by. So I'm sorry, we have Insight Persuasion with 2 of our choice, and instead we actually get a set of fine clothes. Ooh, we get a foppish hat, perhaps. Fine clothes and just a belt pouch. With 5 instead of 15. And then we're going to use, use the guild artisan background as the basis for the courtier. Centaur Draco Malfoy. Wait till my father hears about this. A paper cutout into a start and painted and glittered craft project. He's also a rogue, so he knows to wear the rubber horseshoes to sneak around. Well, we'll see if it's that guy if he goes screaming back to his father. So we have the basis for this to get us in the setting, in the mood for a courtier, and it recommends that we go to chapter 4 and then use the guild member for our ideal bond and flaw and for our personality traits. Oh, when you were talking about the badge. Oh, gotcha. All right, Lightning. Now, for the personality traits, we had rolled number 6. I like to talk at length about my profession. So, as much as our 9-year-old has a profession, he likes to talk about the things that he has done. I accomplished this. I delivered the letter entrusted to me by Duke so-and-so to his good friend Earl Whatsit. Though it was very interesting because the Duke's wife must have been participating in an athletic performance over at the Earl's house, for I was able to hear her give a cry of triumph. And the poor Earl certainly looked like he had been bested in sport. But I delivered the letter. Ha ha! Yeah, he's happy to be participating. Exactly, nicest pancake. Hey, Machi. And personality trait number 1. I believe that anything worth doing is worth doing right. I can't help it. I'm a perfectionist. And so, even as a kid, everything has to be, everything has to be put away. Everything has to be organized. And even, our roguish skills may not be that he's into mischief, but he's had to find ways. If he's going to deliver the letter from the Duke to his friend the Earl, but the Earl has his door locked, probably because he doesn't want anyone to see him practice wrestling. He has a letter to deliver. He expresses himself through this lawful, neutral way. And remember, the alignment is not the character. It's simply an expression of the character. And so this child, as a perfectionist, has to overcome a lot of different obstacles in his way that he, in order to do his functions, to participate, to be seen as a peer amongst others in court. Yeah, so his dad might give him letters to deliver, and unfortunately our little rogue is probably stumbling across all of the court intrigue that takes place not just in boardrooms, but in other rooms around houses, or not just at desks, but on or under desks as well. And we have our poor, little innocent bean whose dad is just like trying to do his job, sends him out, and we have this kid who's so much innuendo is happening around him, and he's just but he's proper about it. Oh, Earl, I wasn't aware that you had sporting practice. You look rather sweaty. Well, here's the letter my father wanted to send you. Nisus says, Formaldehyde, adopt him. Adopt him now! His ideal is number 1. And by the way, if we want to make a link between Formelda and this character, I'm sure that we can in some degree. Because while this is court, which seems to indicate more of like an executive branch or a legal branch, this could also be someone who wasn't brought up necessarily in the faith, but is a functionary. All right, what is his ideal? What is our little centaur's ideal? Community. It is the duty of all civilized people to strengthen the bonds of community and the security of civilization. Oh, his heart is so pure. What he does brings people together. What he does is helps build bonds. Even if he tends to stumble into people bonding in other ways. It's in the court. I mean, this little rogue would be like, oh, someone dropped this, like, black envelope with a red seal. I better deliver it. And suddenly, like, this kid, like, delivers, like, an extortion letter or a blackmail. You know, it was actually dropped by the spy or something, but he ends up delivering it to the recipient, and he does so with a smile like, I did good. Here you go. Yeah, he's a fun, naive little foal. Oh. You know, this ideal is probably something that a noble told him after our little centaur here walked in at an inopportune time. Like, can you just imagine? Like, almost think like have you all seen Blazing Saddles? And Mel Brooks played the governor. There was a scene where the governor was behind the curtain, discussing important matters with his secretary. And so the governor kind of like, you know, when being addressed, kind of like pokes his head out and addresses state business before going back to work, kind of a thing. And so here we would have our poor little innocent bean walk in. There's some noble intrigue going on behind the curtain, and the blustering the blustering noble would kind of like poke his head out. Yes, well, young lad, it is the duty of all civilized people to strengthen the bonds of community and the security of civilization. Because he's like, yeah, I don't know, maybe we give him perception or something. He's like, isn't that Mistress So-and-so's dress at the curtain? Oh, well, yes, so we were at the window looking out over the kingdom in order to appreciate just who we are looking over. And the kid's like, wow. It is the duty of all civilized people to strengthen the bonds of community and the security of civilization. That's why the general's wife was visiting you last week also. Yes, we were... yes, we were bonding in the security. We must communicate as adults and be strong. Now go be strong elsewhere, young man, and I'll have to call my locksmith. Oh, it won't matter. Don't worry. There's no lock that can keep me out. Or a President Scroob in Spaceballs. Hey, Raven. Yeah, exactly. No, nothing untoward. What are you talking? I am talking about a noble's duty to bond, and also engage in activities that perpetuates the population. This is completely above board stuff. Yeah, he learned to lockpick so he could get in and deliver letters. I believe that anything worth doing is worth doing right. I can't help it. I'm a perfectionist. I'm going to deliver this letter that was entrusted to me. Now, what is his bond? Number 2. I created... so instead of creating a great work as an artisan, this is probably like I did a favor. I did a favor for someone, and... Stop it. That is not yours to bite, sir. And then found them unworthy to... I guess instead of in order to receive it, and then found them unworthy to receive it. I'm still looking for someone worthy. So I did a favor for someone and then found them unworthy. To retain my services. I'm still looking for someone worthy. So he's growing up and he's sort of, I guess, like a freelance courtier here. A breaking and delivering. The post office, his bond is to the post office. Hey, Oro. He's a postal boy. Oh, so he is the Pony Express. And flaw number 3, no one... Uh-oh. No one must ever learn that I once stole... Now, this is money from guild coffers. That I once stole something. What? Oh, hi, bud. What is something that our little centaur thinks that no one must ever find out about? Did he steal something? Did he spill something? Did he break something? He stole a package? Oh, he stole something from the king? He stole a lunch. Oh, he lost a package. That's right, he's a perfectionist. No one must ever find out he lost a package. That I once lost an important package. He broke his first fragile delivery. Nice is like, no, our baby boy. Alright, that is our secret. No one must find out. Alright, now, let's find out who he is as a centaur. Alright, here we go. Your strength score increases by 2 and your wisdom increases by 1. Our base walking speed is 40 feet, which is going to give us, well, not a 20 climb, or a swim, perhaps 20. Climbing is going to be different. We are a fey creature instead of a humanoid. We can also charge. If you move at least 30 feet toward a target and hit them with a melee weapon attack, you can immediately follow that attack with a bonus action, making an attack against a target with your hooves. And then, of course, we have a natural weapon of hooves. Your hooves are natural melee weapons, which you can use to make unarmed strikes. If you hit with them, you deal bludgeoning damage equal to 1d4 plus your strength modifier, instead of the bludgeoning damage for normal. So this is going to be 1d4, and then that'll be plus. And that is bludgeoning damage. Aye. We have an equine build. You count as one size larger when determining your carrying capacity and the weight you can push, pull, or drag. So we can charge, and we have an equine build. In addition, any climb that requires hands and feet is especially difficult for you because of your equine legs. When you make such a climb, each foot of movement costs you 4 feet instead of 1. So we have kind of a circumstantial 20 or 10 climb speed. Survivor, you have proficiency in one of the following skills: animal handling, medicine, nature, or survival. Well, if he's growing up in a court, I don't know if he's really had to have any survival training. I don't know if he's exactly a Boy Scout. I could probably see him as learning about nature. Well, that's a good question. Yeah, he might be learned, so he might have learned something from growing up to give him an intelligence skill. Animal handling is also something that is within the realm of nobility. Well, delivering medications, I don't know if that would be the same as being proficient. But he might have a connection. I mean, you know, little kids get along with pets pretty well. I'm kind of leaning towards nature. Pardon me. Though, if any of you make a strong case for something else, I can switch the dot out. This is our character, not my character. Medicine might be more common, so he could have learned about it. Well, you know, kids are resourceful in that regard. You fall and skin your knee, and you go and, like, stick a leaf to it. All right, we'll give him medicine. We'll give him medicine. Well, all right, so, Oro, you bring up a good point where talk to your DM if you're offered a skill anyway. Talk to your DM and see if you can replace one of the skills with something more thematic. And your DM may very well say, yeah, sure, that actually makes perfect sense. You know, in Ravnica, I don't think it's expected that many centaurs are going to participate in noble higher functions. And so history may very well make sense. Within the confines of what we're doing, we'll go with medicine. No, this is a racial. Speak, read, and write. Yep, common and Sylvan. I got that one. Yeah, nice. All right, so we're a centaur. We are a courtier. We are a centaur. Now it's time to make an arcane trickster rogue. Let's go down. Whoop, not races, classes. Rogue. And so this is what we're looking at right here. We are a D8 hit die class, and we have 4 of them because we're level 4. Dun, da, da, da. We get proficiencies with light armor. And we also get, I'm going to put simple, comma, rogue weapons as well, because that's a curated list, and I don't want to type them all out. It's very easy to reference. Tool proficiencies, thieves' tools. Saving throws are going to be dexterity and intelligence. And then we're going to get four skills. Well, an illiterate mailman just is extra security. Now, based on who we have here, I like to talk at length about my profession. I believe anything worth doing is worth doing right. I can't help it. I'm a perfectionist. It is, as it was quoted to me by the Earl, who is looking out over the city with the general's wife in attendance. It is the duty of all civilized people to strengthen the bonds of community and the security of civilization. I did a favor for someone and then found them unworthy to retain my services. I'm looking for someone who truly wants a centaur with his heart in the delivery game. And no one must ever learn that I once lost an important package. So you're thinking stealth and sleight of hand? Maybe perception for finding people? You know, so if he's to be proper, how many nobles might have told him, children are meant to be seen and not heard. And so, as he creeps around and apparently also creeps up on people to catch them in inopportune times. Stealth, I think stealth works with our centaur. Would sleight of hand? I mean, he's probably pretty open about carrying the things that he carries. I don't know if he necessarily does like hand tricks. He's proficient with tools, but that's not sleight of hand. Oh, lightning dragon. That's just done through the tools. It's not a sleight of hand. Yep. History for remembering schedule. So again, as Machi pointed out, that would be a case of bring it up with your DM if it's not on the list, but you think it's really important for your character. Yeah, we get thieves' tools. Hey, Clicker, good to see you. So we have stealth, perception. I think works out very well because we see and hear a lot of things. You know, part of me wants to give him performance because he really tries to perform and be older. Though, at the same time, I don't know. Acrobatics and athletics seem really appropriate for him. I don't think... I mean, he has insight from his background, but I don't think he has intimidation. Investigation might work, actually. I think investigation would work. So maybe not performance or sleight of hand. What would you like? Acrobatics or athletics? What do you think would be appropriate for him? He's a mailman, not a paralegal. He doesn't need to deliver summons. I can also see athletics for getting around. Yeah, so athletics helps with jumping. It can help with climbing. Acrobatics. So generally, athletics is used for getting up. Acrobatics is used for coming down. Athletics. So who's the strongest boy? And he's gonna flex. I'm the strongest boy. Okay. Now he's gonna get some starting equipment. A rapier or a short sword. A part of me thinks that a short sword he might find to be more noble. It looks like a long sword. Yeah, a nice as pancake. He's our boy. Yeah. So let's give him a short sword. A short bow and a quiver or a short sword. You know, I kind of like the idea. I kind of like the idea that maybe he ties letters onto an arrow and ping, swings them up to places, which also probably causes some misunderstandings because, another court functionary will find a letter that is perhaps like worded in particular code, but because it's tied to an arrow that is freshly quivering in the windowsill, it takes on a whole other meaning. Like, this kid is pure and innocent and wonderful, but this kid is absolutely wreaking havoc on the court of the land with all his package deliveries. Let's give him a short bow. Let's see, a burglar's pack, dungeoneer's pack, or an explorer's pack. I think the burglar's pack has a lot of ways to help deliver messages. A lot of ways to get around. Yeah, our sweet summer sun. So let's give him a burglar's pack. Leather armor. 2 daggers. And thieves' tools. Alright, expertise. We're going to get to give him expertise in 2 skills or a skill in tools. Raven, I absolutely agree with you. Expertise in thieves' tools. He really has to deliver packages where they gotta go. So I think it should be thieves' tools, and then which one skill among all that were proficient would he have expertise in? Stealth? Or if not stealth, maybe perception? You know, he's always looking around, he's always listening. So I got some Estee Lauder, a set of metal dice in her favorite color, and a dice tray, also in her favorite color. How's that for? I think that's a wonderful start. Now, I can only comment on those last 2 items. I don't really know much about Estee Lauder. Stealth or perception are my thoughts. Alright, so what's a tiebreaker, everyone? Does our precious bean, is he better at stealth or is he better at perception? Peering eyes and listening ears. So Pancake thinks perception. Perception, Mom 70s. All right, we're gonna give him expertise in perception. And Machi thinks perception as well. Because, of course, kids hear all the things that you don't want them to hear and see the things you don't want them to see. I think this is an expert manifestation of that in our Little Pony Express. Okay, so we get expertise. We do get sneak attack. And at level 4, our sneak attack is, big boy damage, 2d6. We also can speak. Thieves can't. So apparently, apparently our kid can repeat words he's heard, but he doesn't understand when people talk about acorns swinging from the oak. You know, he may say it, but he may not understand that those were thieves that were caught and hung that morning at the gallows. Acorns on the oak. All right, we get cunning action. Starting at 2nd level, your quick thinking and agility allow you to move and act quickly. You can take a bonus action on each of your turns in combat. And we're going to get our roguish archetype and then an ability score. So let's go to Arcane Trickster. We've picked up some spells because apparently, maybe our dad taught us, if he's the court wizard. Oh yeah, we get a feat. I'm sorry. We get a feat instead of an ASI, Lightning Dragon. Like most of us. All right, so we're gonna learn 3 cantrips, Mage Hand, and 2 other cantrips. So we get Mage Hand, and then you learn another Wizard cantrip at 10th. All right, but there's something. I guess the cantrips are open, but other spells have to fall into illusion. Wizard spells that are illusion or enchantment. So we get Mage Hand, and then we get 2 others. 1, 2. Spell slots. At 4th level, we have 3 first level spell slots. We are also going to get the ability at 3rd level of Mage Hand Ledgermane. When you cast Mage Hand, you can make the spectral hand invisible, and you can perform the following additional tasks with it. You can stow one object the hand is holding in a container worn or carried by another creature. You can retrieve an objet in a container worn or carried by another. You can use Thieves' Tools to pick locks and disarm traps at range. You can perform one of these tasks without being noticed by a creature if you succeed on a... So that's on a dex sleight of hand, but I think he'll be at least kind of naturally sort of good at it. Contested by the creature's perception. In addition, you use the bonus action granted by your cunning action to control the hand. And we don't get anything else that's not, spells or slots until 9th level. He needs alert so he can't be pickpocketed? Well, I guess that might depend on how he's carrying things. If he's wearing saddlebags or something along those lines for cargo. A lot of what he's... Well, I guess you could always be pickpocketed in court, but he is more of a courtier. He is a courier, but a courtier as well. But yes, we can think about the feat that he's going to end up taking. And spells known, we're going to know 3. I'm going to just come down here real quick. Arcane Trickster, we get... Whoops. Arcane Trickster, we get Mage Hand. Then we're going to get 2 others. Then we have 3 spell slots here. And then at level 3, we're going to get 2 spells. And then at level 4, we're going to get 1 more spell. And, 3 first levels of your choice, 2 of which must be from enchantment or illusion. So 1 can be... Oh, actually, hang on. This is 4. This is 3. And then, so 2 of these have to be either illusion or enchantment, but the other can be whatever. And then the 4th one has to go back. But there are times where we can get a break and learn another spell that doesn't have to be those. Our spell casting is off of Int. And we're casting as an Arcane Trickster. Okay, so now we have built the Arcane Trickster, and now we can start putting some scores to work. Observant is a good option. Observant would be hilarious with the ability to read lips. He'd know too much. Anytime I hear sleight of hand, I just remember that one time my character played her best friend Forever's prized bagpipes and sleight of handed to pretend she used her own set, confusing his twin, who said, "Well, now I'm confused because your own bagpipes and specifically asked to use my brother's." Sorry, anytime I hear sleight of hand, I just remember that one time my character played her best friend Forever's prized bagpipes and sleight of handed to pretend she used her own set. Oh, alright, so well, I'm confused because you have your own bagpipes and specifically asked to use my brother's. Well, wait, so what was sleight of handed on the bagpipes then? Like, were the bagpipes the same except one had like a blue tassel and the other had a red and they were swapped? Or what was the sleight of hand interaction to swap the 2 out? Oh, okay, gotcha, nicest. Sorry, I needed to read that a second time. Alright, so yes, we have our 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. Now, intelligence is going to be important. He was educated as such. And wisdom, we have a wise child. So, are you thinking, it says Dex, Int, Wiz, maybe Charisma? He's probably not the most charismatic. He gets Persuasion, because he has been around people. He's heard certain words. You know, he is a kid. Maybe he doesn't have the best constitution. And this could make a compelling character as well. In fact, this could even mean that what if he's actually kind of sickly? You know, he's not a Tiny Tim per se. You know, he can get around, but he's just not, you know... he gets winded easily, or maybe, you know, maybe he was, there was something about him that he was, you know, that he was born. Now, or if you want, this is up to us. He doesn't have to have a Con 8, but I don't know, like maybe he has asthma. Asthma could be a Con 8 condition. If you want, if we give him 8 strength, that would then neutralize to a 10. Because of his natural musculature as a centaur. Do any of these, I don't know, do any of these make for something compelling? Or do we want to have a stronger boy? Or do we want our centaur to be a little bit more frail? You know, he's a good boy, but you know, maybe he has you know, he bleeds easily. He has a touch of hemophobia. You know, that runs in royal families. Story-wise, 8 Con is and nicest. That's what we want. We're not going for mechanical optimization of the characters. And so maybe he has a little cough all the time. You know, he comes running up. He's like, "Your delivery, sir." You know, it's not that his health is shattered and ruined beyond repair, but you know, just something happened, or you know, it would go into his story. I think that works well. I mean, he's a strong boy, but you know, he has a fragile heart. I hate, but I love. All right, well, nice as pancake. Then if we're getting your syrupy fingers on this character, if you like this, then I think we'll go here. Yeah, he just gets a little sick or winded easier. He might have some light asthma, or he might have some other hereditary condition. He might have fragile bones or something. All right, so we're thinking 14, 13, 12, and then 10 charisma, average charisma. And if we do this, this is going to give us a 14 strength. Ooh, our boy is strong. And then a 14 wisdom. Now the question to ask before we proceed. Do we have a feat in mind that we want to give him? I think Observant. I think Observant was brought up because he does pay attention to people. And actually, if we do that, we could, we might be able to drop that one. Well, no, the 14 was there. So no, I think that would be the same. But this could bring up, so Observant could work in this case. Increase int or whiz by 1. And so we could increase his intelligence. If you can see a creature's mouth when it's speaking a language you understand, you can interpret what it's saying. And you have a +5 bonus to your passive wisdom. And by the way, taking comprehend languages as a spell with this as a little kid that is getting into trouble. And then we have a +5 to our passive perception and investigation. And we're good at both. Because we have our Centaur is a strong boy, but give it up for the big brain energy going on in our little Centaur being. All right, I do like Observant, and let's put. You know, I guess if you want, what we could do. No, intelligence is going to be important. Otherwise, we could swap out the wisdom and make that 15. And then put intelligence at a 13, which would go up to 14 with Observant. But I think giving a little rider in here, because what this will do, as our Centaur levels up at level 8, he could bring his Dex and his Int to 16 apiece with his ASI, and then go on to improve more. We could give him a 16 Int. Though I think all the mischief he's been in would indicate he's, by this point, he'd have to have, well, I guess it would be about the same, but he could have a 16 int if we took a feat that gave him a +1 in it. But you know what? He's setting up for later. He's happy. You know, he's going at his own pace. All right. Stop it. That is not yours, buddy. Urgh, I love you. That USB cord is not yours. Whoops. Strength modifier is 2. Dex is 2. Con is -1. So Pancake, like, you're just going to have to make sure he takes his vitamins every day. Look at that. Well, you have a very well-rounded lad. Look at how well-rounded he is. All right, our proficiency bonus is 2 at level 4. 2 saving throw and strength with a 4 athletics. Dex saving throw is 4. Stealth is 4. 2 and 2 acrobatics, sleight of hand. Constitution, unfortunately, when it comes to necrotic damage, poisons, and maybe some acids. No, it's just Pancake. I don't feel so well. 4 saving throw int and investigation. 2 down the line for the others because he's well studied. Wisdom is 2. What a well-rounded lad we have. 4 insight, 4 medicine. However, we have a 6 perception. which is going to give us a 16. Actually, it's going to give us, a 20. No, wait. Yeah, a 21 passive perception at level 4. And then charisma is 0 down the line, except persuasion, where we have a 2. Where we go, please, Pancake, may I have a vitamin? Or I could use another plate of victuals after that last delivery. Our armor class, if we're wearing leather armor, our armor class at this point is 13. It's 11 plus dex mod. No shield bonus, no dark vision. Initiative is a +2. And our hit points at level 1, we get all 8 of our hit dice hit points. Then for our remaining 3 levels, we get half +1 of our hit die, which is 5. Then for all of our levels, all 4 of them, we get bonus hit points equal to our Constitution modifier, which in this case means this is going to turn into -4. So we have 8 plus 15 is 23. -4, we have 19 hit points. 19 hit points. Pancake, I can only have the real butter. Margarine upsets my tummy so. And my syrup has to be real maple, preferably from the northern forest. The gnomes there make it extra sweet. I promise I'll deliver the letter extra hard for you if you can get me gnomish syrup. Now, our hooves attack off of strength, and that's a +4 to hit, and 1d4 +2. A short sword, we can attack with either. It's a finesse weapon. However, in this case, our strength and dex are the same. So it's +2, and this is 1d6 +2 piercing. A short bow, I believe, is also 1d6 +2. Hey, get down from there. Don't be a jerk. Grr. Piercing. Daggers can be either way. So we have +4s, including to short sword. Dagger is 1d4 +2 piercing. Now, if we have an attack spell, we attack with our mind, which is also going to be a +4, and our save DC is 12. As we add 8 to that. Oh, Fluffy Sheep. There we see. A shout out to gnomes who know how to make extra sweet maple syrup for the poor sickly centaurs of the big city. Miss Bright. Thank you, Miss Bright, for your special syrup. Alright, everyone, he has earned a name. He's no longer a pile of stats. And you know what? I mean, we come down here, spellcasting 12 +4. I mean, besides choosing the spells, our character is complete. And what a fun, unique character we have. Lightning Dragon, Little Jimmy. His last name's gotta be Jekyll. So name motivations, we have Little Jimmy, Jekyll, O'Crad. And by the way, if you're ever playing around with various races in their source books, we do not have to use Ravnican names. In fact, it's probably better that it's coming from us because he is our boy, as Pancake astutely asserted. This is our lad. But you can always find inspiration, and there's online random name generators. But I would rather us come up with ones that are from the heart, that have some wit, some wisdom, something circumstantial. It's almost Draco, but backwards. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, then it would be Ocard, if you wanted. So instead of Draco, I'm going to go tell my parents. Hi. What a troublemaker I have down here. I think he wants a snack. Kind of like Orchid. Call him Orchid. Is that for our kid? Because he's our kid? Call him Alka-Seltzer? That's probably the magic words that he uses that his court wizard father taught him. Alka-Seltzer! If we have, you know, he's not an orphan, so something like Oliver, Oliver, you know, is kind of a reference. Oh, Alka-Seltzer's a saccharine little gnome. Well, no, gnomes would insist on the real deal. As much as Bright is a vegetarian, she might eschew artificial sweeteners and prefer to go for the natural stuff. Also, hi James. But, you know, depending, if we have, so we have, like, a motivation for something like Oliver. Olive is a color. So what if instead we have, like, a, Dabbler? His name is Dabbler? He's a Dappled? What kind of a horsey part is the rest of them? Well... But that's natural magic. It's no, I don't think there's artificial sweeteners in this world. Unless you count, I mean, really, in Old World, there was an artificial sweetener called, I think it was called Sugar of Lead. Because there was a way that lead would, it was something with holding wine in leaden casks. And it had formed this kind of sweet powder that was scraped out and used as an artificial sweetener in other wines and foods. Well, oh yeah, I mean, okay, you caught me because I was hung up on saccharin and such, so. But honey is a natural one. But, you know, we can give him a name that might be, kind of like Orchid. Hunbun? Oh, so, wait, are you describing sweeteners, or are you talking about... Like, his horse is like a golden brown like honey. Geez, now I'm thinking of Ouran High School Host Club because there's a character in there named Honey. And Honey is an absolutely sweet, adorable, adorable character. It's both stuffy and fragile, and you know what? I think that's what we're going for. That is the aesthetic we need, Exhausted. It was not your intention? Alright, so is his name Orchid Honey? Or what about, you know, if you have Oliver, you know, it ends in an ER, is it Honeyed Orchid? Call him Chestnut? Part of a campaign about two races warring over a cooking pot that had permanent prestidigitation to make everything cooked taste like apple pie. Ooh. Honey Orchid Chestnut the Third? Well, you know when he's in trouble. Honey Orchid Chestnut the Third? Get your hooves over here. His birth certificate is a recipe. You know what? I think if he's come from a long line of wizards and others of high birth, such that his dad gives him things to do among the court, do we go for the third? Do we want to make him? Do we want to make him like the 8th? Do we want to make him the 9th? He is 9 years old. I come from a long line of chestnuts. Of honey orchid chestnuts. The 7th? Nicest wants the 9th? I'm the culmination of 8 prior generations of honey orchid chestnuts. Lightning wants, Lightning would like honey orchid chestnut the third. Alright, so you like the whole idea? Alright, then I guess Nicest Pancake insists on the 9th. So yes, Honey Orchid Chestnut is a long line of esteemed centaurs. That, you know, especially if we're talking wizards, maybe there's a frail health gene. Hey, I guess we're talking about purebreds earlier. It's come full cycle, everyone. And this is why we have table talk at D&D, because all this stuff comes up. So apparently Honey Orchid Chestnut is a pretentious, if not beautiful, but sickly line. And just as the generations continue, you know, it's passed on. There's beauty, there's intelligence, but there's also the drawback of we are big of heart, but also that big of heart maybe makes us frail of heart. Cool. We did it, everyone. Hey, lay meow. That's for him. He's off to the side. Because he does kind of roll on the floor. He doesn't laugh, but he lays down and he meows. That's lay meow. We have an enlarged heart, but at least we don't have heartworms. But yes, our heart is so big. Oh, our heart's also our heart's so big. Yeah, so he probably suffers from there we go. And the gnomes. This is why he loves the gnomes. You're not sickly, you just have an embiggened heart. and that, you know, oh, little gnome, my Kokoro's going doki doki. Sorry, hold on. I can't have a doki doki too much. I had to think of something sad to calm down. I'm sorry, Pancake. I'm probably making you go, oh, my little boy. But this could even be why he carries himself in, you know, I have to be austere. I can't let myself get too excited because then I would be having some palpitations, and the vapors would consume me.